guys, welcome back to part 3 of our Revell 125th Baldwin Motion 69 Camaro SS. So, picking up where we left off last time, we're going to paint the interior of our roof and door pillars using some Revell model colour black and a brush paint. Now you could mask and airbrush this if you wanted. For me, you can't really see this at all. I'm just doing it as a matter of course, just in case you look up through the windows and see a bright yellow roof. So I always brush paint these because it's the quickest and easiest way of doing it. The Vallejo paint lays down absolutely beautiful, and while we're at it, we'll do under the bonnet as well. Now the beautiful thing about putting water-based paint on 2K is it will literally wipe right off with a cotton bud. So if you get any excess on, it just wipes straight off, easy peasy, no problems at all, which is why I choose to do it. So as you can see, just throw a moist cotton bud all around the window trim, because we don't want any black on our beautifully stainless steel window trims we did last time. Just run the cotton bud around gently and it will remove any excess paint that collects around the edge. And that's it, nicely done. Matches our black interior as well. And like I say, you can mask and paint it. For me, it's not worth doing. Might as well brush paint it. It's a lot easier on something that will never be seen. Rear light assembly, we've got some Bob Smith's gold. This is the non-fogging CA glue from Bob Smith's. Again, we got these over at Pro Scale. Go over and have a look. Just assemble the rear section of the light together and then glue them in place. Just get it lined up where we require it. A little bit tricky to do. It took a few attempts to get this to line up. Once we're happy, there we go. We can get some Bob Smith's. Now, the Bob Smith's gold doesn't fog. It doesn't leave white patches behind. It's a fantastic modelling tool. It does take a little bit longer to dry, so if you're just using it solely on its own, you will find it needs a bit more holding or clamping for a little bit longer. So the easiest way to do it is on an inconspicuous area like this. A little bit of CA kicker sprayed into the lid, a micro brush, and just touch it, and it will instantly set the CA glue in place like so. Over in the spray booth now, we've got a couple ideas on this off my buddy Andy Callis, who had these rally wheels on one of his cars, and he said the center was done in a grey and the outer was left as the chrome. Now I couldn't see any way of easily spraying the center grey. I didn't have any water-based paint in grey, so I opted to semi-gloss the center and leave the outer rim chrome. So I sprayed it in Mr. Hobby GX semi-gloss clear, let that dry, and then with a little bit of UMP airbrush cleaner on a pointed cotton bud, I'm just going to run around the very edge using the inner rim of the wheel as a guide and just remove the semi-gloss from the rim of the wheel. And it worked, actually worked really well. It took about 20 minutes to do, just taking my time, making sure it was all off. Very subtle thing, but it is noticeable if you look really closely. Now I didn't put a wash in these wheels. I did that on the last one and I didn't like the look of it, so I opted not to put a wash on this one. Now the parts we 2K'd at the very end of part 1 are now ready for chrome. So here we go. So this is the Pro Scale Paint chrome system. Like I said before, there is a standalone video on the channel that covers the chrome system in full. It's basically prime and black, 2K, chrome down, sealer down, 2K again, and you've got an indestructible chrome finish. Nice and simple. But it's a case of putting a couple of coats of chrome down, allowing a few minutes to flash off in between. Do not touch the chrome. You don't want any fingerprints on there. And just build it up. You can see there the beautiful chrome effect we get. We will lose a little tiny bit of that shine from the clear coat, but we will have a 2K covered chrome that is basically indestructible. And there we go. There's everything chrome. So we'll let that dry for half an hour, and then we can come back with the sealer in a little bit. But yeah, they're looking good. All nicely chrome parts. The engine cover looks good. Air cleaner, the bumpers, the exhaust, all looking good. If you remember last time, we did actually paint the exhausts in stainless, and I changed my mind and did them in chrome. So nice and simple to do. It sounds long-winded. It's not. It really is quite quick, and it's well worth doing to have a chrome that you can handle to your heart's content. Tires. Now I have this tire de-seamer. It's an RC tool, radio control car tool that someone sent me ages ago. Thank you very much. and it's great for de-seaming tyres. Now I believe a cuticle remover is the same thing, but I'm literally using this to remove the sprue, the mounting points where it's held onto its mould, and then removing the excess underneath. And other than that, there's no real seam on the tyre at all. Very clean, very, very clean Revell tyres. So just a case of lightly cleaning them up, and then we can test fit our wheels in place, which look good. And then we can glue the back in place with some Bob Smith's gap filling CA glue. So generous amount on the inside without going crazy. Let's push it together and hold it a second or two. And there we go. There's one wheel. And there's 4. All done. Nice and easy. Good looking wheels. Semi-gloss looks good on the centres. It's quite hard to see, but it is there. It is noticeable. And now on the interior. So my wonderful assistant Hannah has very kindly flocked the interior in ProScale black flock. And I'm gluing in place the door cards, which one of my seats was in the way. So I had to take it back off, glue the door card in place, then glue the seat back in place. But black on black interior, pretty standard. We're going to add some chrome trim to some of the parts as well. I've got my Edding paint marker pen, which is my preferred weapon of choice for some of the interior parts. So this is an actual paint. It's not a Sharpie. It actually puts paint down. They are brilliant. You can get them on eBay and the like. And then we're going to assemble the rest of all the engine and the running gear all together now. Airplane joke there. Hopefully somebody said all together now in the background. So all the radiator components, the shroud, the radiator itself, the housing, all glued in place. Then we've got the rear differential and the leaf sprung suspensions. And again, fun fact, I put these on the wrong way. I had to take them off. And this is the great thing of the Bob Smiths, the gold. It does take a bit longer to dry, so you can remove parts. It doesn't instantly grab. So another reason for using it. It does work well. Now I did dry brush a little bit of the body on this. Sorry, the underbody and some of the running gear. A little bit of silver on a brush, dry brushed it all over, just for a little bit of a look. I didn't film me doing it because I didn't know how it was going to turn out. And as you can see, I always leave the Revell maker mark on the chassis underneath. I don't know why. I always kind of like it there. We don't tend to get them on Tamiya's and what have you. So it's quite a novelty to see the maker mark. And I know a lot of people probably take them off and probably cursing at the screen that professional car modelling forums are up in arms because I've left them on. But I always quite enjoy seeing them because it's something we don't tend to see in a lot of other kits. Even on the side there, I've even dry brushed it so it shows up even more as well. But the dry brushing, you know what, it's had a little bit of depth to it, so I think it's something I might do going forward on the kits. And I'll show it in my next build. So with the rear suspension in place, we've got the shock absorbers which go in place. And this kind of dictates the ride height of the car. So just double check everything's going in straight and where it should. And then we've got the subframe on the front going in place as well. And there's one inner subframe, which I think is the engine mount as well, which just gets a little bit of Bob Smiths in there too. There we go, hold for a few seconds and set in place. And then the glass. Not a lot of meat, as to say, on these to glue to, so be very, very careful. Now, a word of warning using the Bob Smiths with these precision nozzles. When applying to glass, if you've wiped the glass down, the static can drag the CA glue up the glass. So I've stopped doing it this way. I now pop the glue in a pot and use a tool for applying the glue precisely. Because I've had a few instances of static literally dragging the CA glue and pulling it up to clear. But regardless, we're going to CA glue it in place in an inconspicuous place and just gently hit it with a little bit of kicker. And then we'll flip it round and do the top, and we'll rinse and repeat for all the other glass on the car. And like I say, not a lot of mounting areas. There's not a lot of excess plastic. You just pick somewhere on the very edge where you can't see the glue. I know a lot of people struggle with this stage. Once you get used to doing it, it is actually quite straightforward to do. So there's the rear glass in place. So Again, a little bit of kicker on the top, and I would wipe it off. A really bad habit of mine is wiping that micro brush on my t-shirt to remove the excess kicker. It doesn't need a lot of kicker at all. Literally the fumes will do it. So wipe off all the excess and then repeat this for the front. I will do the sun visors separately. I'll paint them up in a little bit. But luckily, because we've got the sun visors, it gives us a little bit of extra area to glue. Because what we want to do is keep the glue away from the front of the car where it can be seen. There we go. Just touch it to it. Glue it in place. There we go. So there's our front glass in and our rear glass. So just take it out at this stage. You can make a holy mess. This is one of those stages that can go wrong fast. People always ask me how I get my glass so clear. Well, it stays in its bag the whole time I'm building the model. It's taken out when it's applied to the model. It's glued in place as cleanly as it possibly can. Let that glue dry for at least several hours. Because if you start running cloths over it and there's a little bit of Seagull that isn't quite dry, you're going to drag it and smear it on the glass. My biggest recommendation for clear parts is buy some high quality glasses cleaning cloths that you use on your spectacles, and use one of those for cleaning glass parts, and it won't scratch them. Kitchen paper will scratch the plastic parts, cotton buds will, cheap cotton cloths will as well. The microfiber, or they're not microfiber, but the micro glasses cleaning cloths are absolutely fantastic. So that is my biggest tip for keeping them clean. So we've got these little spotlight driving lamps in the very front here as well. Just putting a little bit of Bob Smiths in place and gluing the light lens in. And then a sealer. So this is the sealing stage. This is the most important stage of this. This is the stage that allows the 2K to go on without damaging the chrome. So this is a water-based sealer. I mean, what ultra thin mist coat of this on the chrome. You should just literally see it landing on there. You can see where it just dulls it ever so slightly when I spray it on. So this will put a protective barrier coat on the chrome, and as soon as you spray the 2K on, the chrome will come back and it stops that loss of gloss. So it's the most important stage here. So ultra light thin coat of this. I put on about 3 very light coats, and then we let it dry for 20-30 minutes, and then we're ready for our last 2K of the chrome. But yes, by far the most important step, so really take your time here. Follow the instructions on our website and you won't really go wrong. Now I think, yes, this is 2K. So we're on our 2K now. 20 minutes has elapsed with the sealer. I think it's 20 minutes, or is it 30? It might be 30. Now this is a 2-to-1 mix of 2K. No thinner. You can't put any thinner in this because it will eat through that sealer. But you'll see just after the first coat that the chrome comes back almost immediately. That's exactly what we want. And we're going to apply 2 wet coats and maybe a third if it requires it. We want that nice chrome shiny look. And like I say, because we're 2K'd this, you can see the shine coming back almost instantly. It's almost indestructible. It's fantastic. And just how indestructible is it? Well, there's our inlet manifold, which has been painted in Pro Scale. I think that was steel. And then we've got our valve covers there, which are coming up next. And these are that tight that they just friction fit. There's no glue on these. They fit in place. Look how hard I've just pushed that. This is about a day after I 2K'd it. And there you go. No loss of shine. No damage to the chrome. No damage to the 2K. Absolutely perfect. We've got a nice high shine chrome valve cover. And again, a bit of pressure. Job done. Can really go to town on these. And like I say, almost bulletproof. Now, we've got all of our Pro Scale pre-wired V8 distributors. So I'm just drilling out the spark plug holes. Just checking the exhaust manifold. And again, I've probably got these in the wrong place. People always like to point this out. Like I say, I know nothing about these cars. What I do know is our Pro Scale pre-wired distributors are absolutely fabulous. Pre-wired, all different colours. They come with little boots for the spark plug ends as well. Absolutely beautiful. We have a full range of these on the site. They go in stock so fast. They're not the cheapest, I'll admit, but they are very, very high quality. So it's going to drill out the mounting point on the kit. and pop it in place. A little tiny bit of Bob Smith's in there. Just making sure we get everything lined up right. There we go. Then we'll pop that in place. So it's turned aluminium with a plastic head. All the wires are pre-installed for you. And this isn't in firing order. This engine's not going to start. There's no fuel or oil in it. So I'm not really bothered about getting the firing order right. But what I do, is I just randomly put the wires in a random order to make it look like I've made some attempt in getting the firing order. And again, I've been criticised for this before, but it's not going to run, guys. There's no fuel in it. I'll let you into the secret. It's not a real engine. It's not going to run. Anyway, if you want to get the firing order right, so be it. I'm not going to bother. So we get these little individual cut spark plug boots for where the where the lead would attach over the spark plug. I'm going to cut this to length with my beautiful wire cutters. And then we're going to pop a little bit of Sago on the end of the wire and pop it into our pre-drilled hole. Like so. An optivisor is well worth wearing here, especially if you're old, which I certainly am getting old. I feel it anyway. A little tiny drop of Bob Smith's, and we can get this in place like so. And then we grab our little boot and bring it up and get it 90 degrees to the engine. Like so. There we go. And then we can repeat that for all the others as well. And just keep going until they're all done. It's a nice simple process. It makes a big difference. It really does look good on the engine. I think it's a step worth doing. There are massive improvements over the kit distributors that come with them. I've tried wiring those up before. I've had 3D printed ones that were just absolutely useless. So if you're looking for a high quality distributor for your V8s, have a look on ProScale, because we do these in, let me remember, red, blue, yellow and black. All different colours. Like I said, they do come in and out of stock quite quick. So if they're out of stock, just bear with us, drop us a message and I'll get a restock on them as ASAP as I can. There we go. We've got our carburetor in place and our air cleaner as well. And then some Tamiya X18 enamel paint and a nice Tamiya flat brush. We're going to paint all our transmission. And again, you could mask and paint this, but the Tamiya enamels are beautiful. They self-level really well. They brush paint beautiful, very finely pigmented. Brush painted, I think it's quite hard to distinguish whether this has been airbrushed or not. They go down well, and just some nice careful paintbrush action. We've also got our exhaust in place, our auxiliary belt and fan is all glued in place as well. And again, if you do slip and get any paint on the lacquer, being enamel, it'll just wipe straight off with some odorless mineral spirits. So no drama there at all. And then popping our engine in place. This is a big engine, looks really, really good on this. A couple of dabs of CA glue in the mounting points and just glue it in place like so. There we go. And then our radiator surround on the front as well. Slots in place. So we get a bit of glue on an inconspicuous spot that can't be seen. And again, we'll hit it with some kicker. We've got a dashboard in place now with our steering wheel, which we've painted in silver, the same silver we did the transmission with the black rim. Ooh. And then getting our interior in, there's a locating point on the very back, so a little dab of CA glue and a little bit of kicker. There we go. Just to ensure that's glued in place properly. Interior looks good. I think the black on black looks really good with the black and yellow bodywork. And then we've got our firewall going in place as well. Slots in beautifully. And then the awkward bit. Now, on this one, the bulkhead was just catching a touch on this. So it needed a little bit of finagling and finessing in place. I am glad I left that rear valance off because it would have been even harder to get it in. So yeah, a little bit of fettling moving around, a little bit of spreading of the arches and the side skirts to get it in place. It is a tight body. It's not the tightest one I've ever fitted. It's definitely better with the rear valance off, but just be careful spreading things. Don't be pushing the windows out. I thought I'd loosen the window there then. But there is a little bit of give in the 2Ks. Just very gently spread the parts apart. And then slot it in. And then we need to push it forward at the same time. So there we go. A little bit of finessing to get it in place. As you can see, it now needs pulling forward. So we just drag the whole thing forward. And there we go. We're in place. Yeah, fits well. We can get it all straightened up. And there we go. The wheels literally just click in place. The exhaust being a little bit of a pig. It's fell off twice now. I've had to glue it back in place. And again, rear wheels glued in place. Stance is good. Ride height's good as well. And then on the front, some very careful gluing. We can get our front bumper in place. Now, the front grille on this should be chrome with painted parts around the lights. My buddy Andy Callis said he'd seen one in black, and I looked and I thought, you know what, it does look good in black. Now, no SS decals with the kit. I have some now, so I will add them, and the next bench update I show, I will show it with them on. What I wish I'd done going forward is done the grille gloss black to tie it in with the black stripes on the car. I think it would look better in gloss black. Now, this is going to be a point of contention because a few people have already pointed out on YouTube and Facebook that I shouldn't have done this. But again, it's my model. I don't know how I look, but if I was going to do it again, I think I'd do it gloss black just to tie it in with the rest of the body. But I still like the look of it. It's just missing the SS badge, which doesn't come in the kit, which is ridiculous. We've got a little front spoiler valance going in place here as well now. Just some very careful application of some Bob Smith's gold. Get that in place. But this is the thing with modelling. Everyone does things differently. I'm going for a slightly different look. As you can see, this thing doesn't want to play ball. It's been a bit of a pig. But some perseverance will get it in place. No locating point, you see, which is always a bugbear of mine on these kits. You kind of got to let things hover and kind of glue. So just take your time. And again, the rear valance, just a couple of dabs of Bob Smith's right on the locating point. And I am glad I left this off. It is no drama to pop it back in. It fits almost perfectly. And definitely made getting the body on a lot easier. So there we go, a little bit of glue. And then our rear bumper glued in place as well. Like I say, no real positive mounting points. They are quite disappointing at this stage, these kits. It can be a little bit frustrating. Thankfully, because we've got our Pro Scale Chrome system on, we can handle the chrome to our heart's content. And it does not lose any sheen at all. Perfect. And then our side exhausts as well. So I'm just going to offer them up. Everything I put on here has been test fitted before it's glued. It's a habit I've got into a long time ago. Test fit every single component before you commit to glue to make sure it fits and it'll sit where you want it to. And they sit in there really, really well. So what I'm going to do is hold it in place where I've got it, and we're going to glue it from behind. I think it's the easiest way to do it. So some Bob Smith's gold just underneath in a very inconspicuous place. I can't speak. And then some kicker will hold those in. And then the wing mirrors, we're using some Tamiya Craft Bond on, which is an ultra tacky PVA based glue, to get those in place like so. And then on the back, we're going to add one of our dress pin door locks. So using our battery powered drill to drill the right size hole, we get one of the dress pins, cut it to length with our wire cutters, a little bit of Tamiya Craft Bond again, to making sure it fits, which it does. Yeah, a little bit of craft bond to glue it in place. Yes, it does hurt doing that sometimes. It doesn't stick in you, but the shock of it cutting is a bit painful from time to time. So just going to dab it in a little bit of the Tamiya craft bond. Ooh, it needs a good squeeze, that, doesn't it? Ooh, give it a good squeeze. Oof. And then we can line it up, pop it in place, just push it down and remove any excess with a moist cotton bud. And we repeat that for the doors as well. And then the number plate, we've got a zoom on the number plate. This is a photo etch number plate underneath with the corresponding decal to go on top that when it's applied looks like the real embossed number plate. They look really, really good. We've glued the spoiler on as well. We just used some Tamiya craft bond on that as well to glue that in place. And the final step is some Ultimate Modeling Products Shine Spray. So everything's looking good. There's our number plate. We went for a Florida plate to honour my buddy Andy. Spray this on our glasses cleaning cloth. I'm just going to give this a wipe out. This isn't abrasive. It's literally a spray wax. So it goes on, hazes up, buffer off to a nice high shine. Nice and easy to use. So just go around the whole model. Now at this stage, be careful you don't knock anything off. It's really easily done. The amount of times I've knocked wing mirrors off, bumpers, window wipers, very frustrating. And this is also an important stage to make sure any CA glue is well and truly dry, because you don't want to snag some moist CA glue and drag it out all over the body and ruin all your hard work. Like I say, because our chrome is 2K'd, we can wipe that over as well with no fear of any damage. And I think this thing's looking absolutely phenomenal. It really, really is looking good. Probably one of my favourite American cars I've built to date. I love the paint scheme. I'm so happy I changed the colour and took the time masking that black stripe, because I think the black stripe looks fantastic. The Daytona yellow, the depth of it with the Pro Scale 2K, absolutely fantastic. Really is looking good. And there we go. There she is, all done. I've got my noisy binman turned up, so apologies if you can hear them. But just look at that. Look at the depth of the clear. Absolutely beautiful. Chrome work looks good. Trim looks good. Like I say, the front grille, I probably would have done it in gloss black. But in hindsight, I think I can get it back out as well. I don't think I glued it in place. So maybe it's something we can look at a later date. But for now, I'm more than happy how this has turned out. I think it looks absolutely stunning. The engine's turned out really well as well. And I did forget a few bits here. I forgot to do the battery detailing and the washer bottle as well. So I have a quick go over some paint. They are done. Engine looks good. Happy with that. The Pro Scale distributor looking fantastic. And there we go. There's another build off the bench. I just thought I'd seen a little bit of muck on the body, but I didn't. And here's some pictures of her in all her beauty. So I think she turned out really well. Like I say, the grille is the only thing I'd probably change. I'd probably go gloss black, and it definitely is that SS logo. But overall, more than happy with this build. I think it turned out well. So this was primed in Pro Scale white primer, painted in Pro Scale Daytona yellow, hand masked and painted in Pro Scale deep black for the stripes, dark grey Tamiya panel line wash, stainless steel Pro Scale for all the chrome trim, or the silver trim on the car, Pro Scale 2K clear, Pro Scale chrome system on all the exterior chrome, jet black interior for the seats and what have you inside, and black flocking as well on the interior, chrome on the engine as well as the Pro Scale distributor and the Pro Scale chrome system, and flatted back with the 3M Chized pads, polished up with the Zoom on polish compound, sponges and Manzana compounds. And yeah, I'm very happy how this has turned out. I think it's a beautiful looking car. Like I say, very happy I changed the colour, especially look at this from outside. I think she looks beautiful outside. It shows the real depth of the colour in the 2K. Like I say, so glad I changed the colour. The 2Ks turned out absolutely phenomenal. There's my trees outside. You can see them, look. Absolutely beautiful. Really good looking car. And yeah, I'm happy how this one's turned out. There we go. Another one off the bench. Like I say, it just needs an SS badge on that grille. I didn't have one at the time. I do now. I got one in another kit when I was looking through for some extra decals. But overall, yeah, very happy with this one. We've got a nice still picture of it outside as well. We can see all the reflection in the trees. So there we go. Let's go back to me. Right then, there we go. All done. And yes, as I've said there, really happy with this one. She turned out really well. Beautiful looking car. Glad of the colour choice as well. I've said it several times through the build. I'm glad I changed that colour. I think it looks so much better in the yellow. And although those stripes were a pain in the backside to do, I think they worked out well in the end. Like I say, the only thing I change on the car is the front grille. I'd make sure I have my SS logos on it. As I said, I do have now, and I'd probably gloss black it. Now, I'm pretty sure I didn't glue that in. I'm pretty sure it's just push fitted in place because it's tight on those. So I reckon I can get it back out. So maybe it's something I'll have a look at and redo it so I can get it just how I like it. Now, don't forget, this is my build. Some of you guys aren't going to like what I've done, and that is fine. I don't like some of the things you guys do to your builds too. It's the nature of modelling, what makes it so individual is we're doing things to what we deem or feel is correct. Like I said, I know nothing about these cars at all. So if I've done something wrong or something you don't agree with, well, there's not much you can do about that. The car's done, it's built, that's it. It's well and truly done. But very happy with the result. One of my best paint jobs, one of my best 2K jobs so far with ProScale. And it just shows you the high quality of our paint and just how good it is. Very, very happy. So yes, there we go. Another one off the bench. So yes, on to the next one. Now, as I said during one of these episodes, there is a Subaru build coming out. About 17 parts long, and I'm going to focus on each aspect of modelling, from priming, from preparation, priming, paint, clear coat. I'm going to focus on those particularly in one short video. So as a reference, somebody can go back and look, right, how do I prime? How do Paul prime it? Rather than sifting through an entire build series for a 2-minute segment, there'll be a 10 to 15 minute video showing exactly how I do that specific stage. So that is something that's coming up very soon. I'm going to make a video on that as well, explaining what it's about and why I've chose to do what I've done. And as somebody pointed out before, I've already done the Subaru. That's right, I have. Well done. Well done. There's a reason I'm redoing the Subaru again. So yeah, that'll hopefully be out very soon. Loads of other build videos due and reviews as well. And that's it. There we go. As always, if you want any access to these videos, there's a Patreon link in the description down below. You get all these perks here. There's like 2 to 3 month early access. All the videos are ad-free over on Patreon. There's a 10% off a ProScale, which choose the applicable tier. There's a Sunday bench update. There's an exclusive Facebook group and Messenger chat group. There's exclusive videos on there as well. And you keep me being able to make these videos. Without your support, I couldn't do it. There's also links down there to anything and everything social media wise with myself. There's an email address to get in touch with me. There's my stash, my Etsy selling stores there where I sell my built models. ProScale Paint is down there. There's the off-air hangout link to come and join us off there. Come and model with us. There's anything everything down there. And as always, please give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you're not. Hit that bell notifications to get notified of all your latest videos. And leave a comment. Love reading all the comments. Don't get a lot on the videos anymore. Real shame. It's just one of those things. So yeah, leave a comment down below. Love reading them all. Might not reply to them all, but I reply to any that I can. But I do read every single one and appreciate anyone that takes the time to leave a comment. And there we go. Let me know what you think of my build. Have you built one? What do you think I should have done differently? Always interested to hear. I can't do anything about it now, but always interested to hear. And there we go. I will catch you all next time. And as always, thank you to all my wonderful patrons whose names are going to flash up on screen right now. Bye-bye, everyone.